I will admit that I have had some very bad money habits in the past, even up until a couple of years ago. So even though I was doing fairly well at saving money, I still had some bad habits that I should have stopped sooner. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you in detail about 6 of those bad money habits. But before we get started, if you are new here, my name is Jennifer. I make videos weekly on saving money and leading a simple life. I'm also documenting our journey to paying off our mortgage by the year of 2024 and ultimately being financially independent. So if any of that interests you, make sure you click on that subscribe button. Number 1 is every single morning before going to work, I would stop at Chick-fil-A for a large sweet tea, extra ice, and a buttered biscuit. Now, this was before I went vegetarian vegan, but every single morning I got to know the Chick-fil-A people a little too well, and depending upon which county I was in, depended upon how much it actually cost. Pretty sure it was $2.36, or no, $3.26. One of those. Good thing it's been a little while now and I've forgotten how much it exactly was, but I would have the exact change ready for them. That is how often I would go. Probably at least 3 to 4 times out of 5 out of a week. And I just kind of justified it as, you know what? I had to get up early to get to work, so I'm just gonna get myself a buttered biscuit and a large sweet tea with extra ice. Because there's really, it's not fun when you get sweet tea and there's so much ice or no ice in it and it's warm because it's 6:30 in the morning and they just made it so the ice is gone. So I always had to have extra ice. I digress as usual, but that was a bad habit that I finally stopped. One of the big reasons I stopped it, and probably actually stopped it in general, was when I did change my diet for my health reasons. My stomach doesn't tend to like dairy too well. What I ended up doing is making my own tea at home. I had actually started getting half and half tea versus full strength sweet tea, which I used to love. So I started making my own tea at home, and I have done it now for probably 18 months to 2 years, and it has saved me, gosh, if it was $3 a day, it was a little bit more than that. 5 days, that's $15 a week, $60 a month. That's a lot of money that I was just throwing out the door. Number 2 is related. I would order out lunch as well because, it was actually convenient. The office building I was in had this delivery service where they had different restaurants you could choose from each day, and they would drop it off for a $1.99 fee plus whatever the cost of the meal was. And because at that time I really wasn't that good at liking leftovers, I did not actually like leftovers. And I'm a very picky eater anyway, so warmed up food, it was just hard for me to eat. And instead of planning ahead and just eating my leftovers, I would sometimes bring my food still and then just go, I'm not in the mood for that. I'm just going to order out because that sounds good. And then I would order out and often end up not even liking what I ordered. And I'm going to tell you guys, and I'll be ashamed to admit it, some of these meals were $10 to $15 just for one person, obviously. And, I might have gotten a salad and the salad was wilted. Does that not irk you too when you go out and your salad is wilted? It's just gross. That's just never fun. So, or the food would be nasty and soggy because they had to pick it up and it sat down the stairs for a little too long. You get my drift. I wasted a lot of money. So to change this bad habit, I took to learning to make leftovers of things I actually liked warmed up, and just taking time to prepare things like my own salad, which I knew wouldn't be wilted. So I would make things such as pastas, or just leftovers. I would ensure that the meals that I planned monthly were meals that I liked to eat leftover cold, or not cold, just eat leftovers of, warmed up or cold, whichever. So that was something that it was just a mind shift I had to change, and something strategic I had to do monthly. And when I was able to do that, I was able to change that terrible habit that could have was costing me $30, $40, $50 a week, probably closer to 30 to 40, and change it to where now I absolutely love taking my food, taking leftovers, and I'm saving so much more money, and I'm not wasting, and I'm eating healthier. The third bad habit, and please tell me if you have ever experienced this as well, was if I left a store empty-handed, meaning I went into a store and I just didn't find anything I liked, then I felt defeated. I felt sad almost. And I had to go to another store because I had to find something to make my day, to make it worth me going out. Coming home empty-handed just felt wrong to me for some reason. The solution to this was finding different hobbies, no longer looking at shopping as a hobby. As I'm bored, let me go do this thing. And realizing that if I go into a store now, I've changed my mindset so that if I come out with nothing, I actually think that's a success because I was able to resist the temptation that is thrown at you when you go in a store. And if I didn't find what I was looking for, then it wasn't meant to be. My fourth bad money habit was trying to extreme coupon. This was back when the extreme couponing shows were, all the rage, and I thought I could do this. This could be fun. So I went wild. I bought the 4-inch binder. I bought the baseball card, the little, where you put the baseball card storage things. I don't remember what they were called. I bought the tabs so you could, have them divided between frozen, fridge, dry goods, pastas, toiletries. And I would take my binder, just like the extreme couponers, into the grocery store and extreme coupon. I would get a ton of stuff and save a lot of money. It was a game. How much stuff could I get so that I could save them much? How much could I say, look, I bought $100 worth of stuff, but I only spent $50. The problem with that was a lot of what I got, I didn't even want. I didn't even like. I thought I would. It's a great deal. For example, I would get a frozen meal for something. And I've already talked to you about how I hate leftovers. Frozen meals really, from the freezer section, don't work for me. I do not like them. But so I would get a frozen meal and then I would never even want to eat it. And it would just sit in my freezer. So the wastefulness that I had from that was just not good. Now, I know there are plenty of people that can do extreme couponing and have these huge stockpiles because of it, and they are able to, use what they have, and they do. But what I have also found now that years later the extreme couponing thing kind of happened is that the companies realized what was happening. So now they won't do double coupons, or they've done different restrictions or done less coupons because of those extreme couponers. And what you will also see, for me, not necessarily the consumable toiletries and things, but the food that coupons, if there's a coupon and it's for a food, oftentimes it's for a filler food, for a junk food, something that's not good for you. I mean, when's the last time you went and found a coupon for bananas? I actually hadn't found a coupon for bananas, so I sent a email to Chiquita, I think it was, one of the banana companies, and they sent me coupons for bananas. So that's another tip there. This was a very bad money habit that I had for a long time. And not only was I wasting money, but I was wasting food and things that I just ended up not wanting to eat. My fifth bad money habit was thinking that if I could afford the payments, then I could afford the thing. In my early 20s, this is what actually got me into all of my debt. I went and got LASIK eye surgery. I had an apartment and I furnished it with going to a furniture store and getting everything, putting it on payments. I ended up going to Target to fill up everything else that needed to go in the apartment, and also got a credit card from there. What people don't realize is when that you get all of these little charges and they add up, yes, you can maybe afford $200, $300, but when you add them up all together, that's when I realized I actually couldn't afford everything. I ended up, having to work extra hard, get my debt paid off after I realized what I had done. The other thing that it does is it stresses you out, because you have an obligation to pay it. And whereas if you didn't have debt, you might have more flexibility in changing jobs if you wanted to. I was in a job I did not like and I couldn't leave because I had to make these payments. I couldn't risk maybe taking a pay cut because I was leverage so high. This solution was just me having a complete realization of where I was and being in debt. If you haven't heard my debt story, I'll link that down below too. I will never go into this bad habit ever again. My sixth bad money habit was thinking that if I saved money, no matter where it was or what it was on, then I could go spend the rest of it. For instance, if I had gone and planned to spend $100 on something and it somehow was on sale for 50% off, then I only paid $50. What else can I go buy now for $50? Instead of just pocketing the fact that I got lucky, I went and said, let me go get something else. Not only did I waste that money, but I went and bought something unintentionally that I hadn't thought of buying just because I was under budget. The solution here was just changing my money mindset and realizing that that is an opportunity to save money. And if I get lucky enough, then that's where I need to stop. It's almost like the one time I went to Atlantic City and I gambled for a bit. I was very lucky my first time, and that was the first and only time. I went to Atlantic City. This was circa 2007, I think, and put money in the coin machine, whatever it was, and I think it was maybe my third pull, I won $700. I knew at that point it's time to stop because that is not normally something that's typically going to happen. So that is my 6 bad money habits. Hopefully this will help you from making these same mistakes or getting out of some bad habits that you're in. Tell me what bad money habits you have or have had down in the comments below. I would love to read them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you back for more videos.